I don't want to place blame on social media. I'm saying we know what the culprit is. Now I am pivoting towards what can be done, what can be changed in my head. Because you deal with so many people, if there are three things that you can tell people, give them tips about how to just accept themselves, or how not to find the quickest escape route and go to a dermat or an aesthetic person, what are the three tips you'd give them?
I would say awareness is the key, right? Read up. We all read all the time, but read the right things,
Right.
right? So it's like, don't be in a rush to fix things. Do your skincare right. Start early, and less is more. Right? And if at all there's like one product, if you ask me, that you get started on, earliest on and till the last day, it's your sunscreen.
Right.
You know, I keep yapping about it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that you start as early on as you can. And that's something which is non-negotiable.
Interestingly, there's also a song by Baz Luhrmann which I think everybody should hear. It's called Sunscreen. Please hear it. It will not only help you in your daily life, there's something in there that will help you even with your mental health. Please hear Sunscreen by Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah, there was a time, when we started, when I started practicing aesthetic medicine, over a decade ago, and I wanted to get a website for myself, and I was obviously a newbie beginner. And I told them, I want the song to play in the background. I was like, hello, aren't you asking for too much? You want a song to play in the background of your website? I was like, yeah, I want this one.
But it's
song.
apt. That song is apt.
Yes, it is.
I also call certain things your raw materials.
Yes.
Certain things you're born with. And sometimes people struggle with that the most. Like, for example, I know somebody who has a slightly, I don't want to use the word, I'm looking for a different word, not such a fair skin tone. Okay? And that person, even before stepping out for a meal, is going to apply makeup. And that's a huge, that goes into mental health. Like, for example, I have sometimes, they meet, before we go to meet friends, they're like, oh, no, 1 second, friends can't come home, or I can't go there, I need my makeup on.
Yeah.
When it goes beyond vanity,
Yeah.
you realize we are in the realm of mental health.
Yes.
There's a huge sector of people who feel like that. And I'm sure you faced cases like these. Do you have any experiences like these to share, and any tips for them? Because you're also a clinical psychologist.
Yeah. So, fairness is an obsession, especially in our country. Each one wants to be fairer, right? There is no one who's going to be very happy with their complexion. There are very few, like a handful of people who walk into your clinic and be like, okay, I like the way I look.
Right.
Right? Everybody wants to be fairer.
Right.
I would say we need to change the way we look at it.
Right.
We need to make it more about an even skin. We want to make it about even skin tone, healthy skin, softer skin, and you want to make it about acne-free skin, pigmentation-free skin. You want to be sun damage-free rather than being just fair.
Right.
Actually, the Indian skin is one of the best skin type to have. We've got just the right amount of pigment which saves us from cancer. We've got just the right amount of thickness that keeps us soft and plump and looking young for a long period of time. If you see, like a white skin creeps up literally by the age of 40, 50.
Right.
Because they lack melanin. We don't understand what it's doing to us, because that's what is keeping us looking the way we're looking. We tend to age more with pigmentation than lines and wrinkles.
Right.
Right? But again, this obsession is engraved into our soul deep down, growing up in the Indian society. If you're dark, you're not pretty.
Yes.
Right? I don't want to take names, but you know how our ads would go and how the percept of those ads would be, and how you would show a dark person and then a light person. You show that as a journey.
Right.
Right? So that is what is being fed to us.
Right.
If that is a narrative that is being given to us ever since I remember, like all these almost 4 decades of my growing up, that's the thought that we've lived with.
Right.
Dark is not clean. Dark is not pretty. So everybody wants to change that narrative. So you want to be pretty. It's basically, it's like you're fat and you want to be thin. Like you said, your friend would not want to go out without makeup. It's like somebody who's fat would constantly want to wear a body shaper and then move out. They would want to wear those garments, that make them look a certain way. They would not want to be seen in their comfortable clothes that they'd be at home. They want to wear flowy clothes and they want to look comfortable because that's body image, right?
Right.
All the whites are dying for a tan. They're paying for a tan. It's like, by convention, man is a fool. He wants it hot when it is cool. He wants it cool when it is hot, always wanting what is not.
Right.
That was something I read as a child and it just stuck with me. I internalized it so much that, it would keep cropping up every time, and that's what I tell them. As if the fair people are not happy, they, every time we go out as an international speaker, they look at our skin type and they're so happy.
Right.
There's something about our skin that gives them a kick.
Right.
Similarly, when we look at someone who's fairer than us, we look up to them.
Right.
Right? That's what we've grown up with. But right now, we have the means. We have the means and we have the ways where we can talk. We can talk out aloud to a lot of people and address this.
Right.
Not make everything fair and something.
Right.
Right? Because fair is not always lovely and fair is not always handsome.
Right.
Right? So, we as a community, we as a fraternity need to be more united on that front, that if I am refusing something and you go to some ex-person and get it done by them, that practice has to be detested also.
Right.
In the long run, you are generating a population of insecure, healthy young individuals, not happy in their own skin.
Can I play the devil's advocate here? If I was sitting in the chair opposite you and you'd say that to me, I'd say it's easier said than done.
Yes.
You're a fair person talking to me. What do you know about what I feel in my skin? It's great to say that, accept yourself and all of that. Because sometimes I feel like that some of the things we say are so easy to just say. But what would you do if you were faced with this sort of resistance?
Is why I say, Bhaav, here is where spending time comes into the picture. This isn't the first thing that you go on head on in a conversation with someone.
Right.
You have to develop that trust. You have to give them that safety. You have to tell them, you have to understand where they're coming from, acknowledge them, and then tell them why you're saying what you're saying.
Correct.
You're not just saying it because you're not going through it. You're also saying it because you see it on a daily basis. You're also coming from a place of science. You're also coming from a place of experience, and more so from safety.
Right.
Right? You are showing them something they cannot see. Right? And for that, they have to trust you.
Right.
I had a girl who came to me many, many years ago in my practice when I did not even have my clinic. I was practicing out of a polyclinic. And a young girl, all of 30, came to me with very bad acne. She's come with her mother. She breaks down. Super intelligent, double graduate. She's like done her post-graduation. She's a teacher. And she's like, my students are scared to come to me now for the way I look. Because she had a lot of acne. Let's give it to her, She was suffering.
Right.
She's like, I've been to this ex-doctor and he's like, you're 30 now, abhi sundar dikh ke kya karna hai?
Wow.
And she was heartbroken. Heartbroken to a level. She's like, you're 30, you're unmarried, and what are you trying to achieve? So, this is it. Your hormonal imbalance hai, and iske saath aisa hi hota hai. Probably some old time, with all due respect to everyone, but somebody who, did not have enough time to give to that person. I had to handhold her through it. It was my initial years also, so it was a challenge case for me because it came down like, it was like a hand-me-down. Everybody had tried their own little thing with her, but nobody had actually given her the gift of time. Spend that little time to understand what is going wrong with her lifestyle.
Right.
Because she was so stressed because of her skin. Her hormones were so jetty.
Right.
So, you had to tell her that, okay, give me these 3 months of your life. I need you to stay with me in it, expecting nothing is going to change.
Right.
Preparing herself for the worst. And as she saw the changes going along, she was more motivated. She started exercising. She lost weight, and there was a world of a difference. And she was one of the first before and afters that I put on my social media, where she was like, "Doc, I really want you to share my journey with the world."
Right.
Because I wish somebody had told me this so many years ago.